Hello, everybody. My name is Roger. This is the Database Group 16.0 planning. Welcome. With me today is Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hello.
So we're just going to go through quickly some of the items on our team's list. In 16.0, we are operating at full capacity. And in general, our focus is to stay supportive of initiatives that affect the availability and reliability of GitLab.com and self-managed instances. We have a multi-pronged database scaling strategy that is highlighted here that we are working through in the coming months. And we'll be dedicating one full-time equivalent engineer to help explore data store solutions for AI-related initiatives as well. So let's jump into some of our top priorities. First up here is partitioning strategies and table ownership. Some of this was already ongoing with the CI database, but it also came out of some of the investigation we recently saw with CPU spikes on our database primary. Alex, do you want to just touch a little bit on why partitioning is such an important area for GitLab's investment?
Yeah, so I would actually broaden this to say table reduction. And this is a theme we've talked about in the past, but it's become a lot more poignant recently, especially with some of our CPU saturation issues over the last couple of months. We see partitioning as a good way to reduce table sizes, in addition to a few other methods like reducing or decomposing into multiple tables or that sort of thing. But partitioning is a one of the main tools we have to take some of our very large tables and turn them into smaller tables. And we need to do that because the overhead caused by large tables, especially around vacuum pressure, but also just day-to-day operations of the database, are very high. And getting those tables smaller we think is gonna save us a lot of pain going forward.
Yeah, so this is definitely something we're working closely with a lot of different individual groups to push forward as well. And also the degree to which we are prioritizing this is also heavily informed by just sort of our long-term scaling plans for GitLab as a company. So definitely top of mind for us as we work through 16.0 and beyond. The other big area we want to focus on here is upgrading primary keys to big integers. We've been working on this for a few milestones now, and we are coming closer to the end of some of our top priority tables. One additional area we want to highlight is that we want to also mitigate primary key overflows for all of GitLab generally. And so we're working with group scalability to just improve our monitoring and alerting to ensure that we are migrating additional tables in time. And then one other point here specific to 16.0 is there's a few dependencies that we just need to update and make sure of. Alex, do you just want to maybe help our listeners understand a bit more about our database versioning?
So,
yeah.
I probably should have changed the name of this, but so with 16.0, we are removing compatibility with Postgres 12. Well, we are officially dropping support for Postgres 12. This was announced when we released 15.0. So hopefully folks will have had time to upgrade to Postgres 13 or later by now. And so as a part of that, we have a check in GitLab to say, oh, are you on at least, well, right now it says, are you on at least version 12, but that'll be on at least version 13. And it mainly prints out a warning. That way, if someone is still on the old version, they're not immediately just like out of luck. But while it may still work in the short term with degraded performance, we no longer support Postgres 12 starting in 16.0, and it could break at any time. At the same time, we're going to be adding nightly tests for Postgres 15. While we don't support officially Postgres 15 yet, we're going to start working on compatibility there. And we're updating our default testing to Postgres 14, which will be the version we're running on GitLab.com.
Yeah, so I think all in all, this is largely in line with our existing database versioning upgrade cadence. So I think as long as our users are following our recommended installation guidelines, they should see no impact from some of these changes, even though we're upgrading systems across the board.
Yep.
Yeah.
Postgres 13 has been the default installed version of with Omnibus since GitLab 15, and it's been an optional install since GitLab 14. So it should be readily. It's most folks will have already been automatically upgraded to it.
Cool. And then a few focus themes and areas for what we're working on here. Removing old migrations is something that we've had ongoing for some time. I think we've made some decent progress, but it is complex and slow work just due to the nature of changes. As we approach 16.0, we're going to actually extend this and continue this work stream. The overall goal here is to just remove a lot of legacy code that causes maintenance burden across our system and to just simplify and accelerate our ability to innovate without having to have a lot of these legacy systems accounted for compatibility reasons. And then the other big theme here that we are continuing to drive and we have excitement about is automated database testing, which we've been working through for some time, and having recently developed an architectural blueprint. I think we are working to finalize that even just this week. Alex, do you want to touch a bit more on some of the opportunities you see here for 16.0?
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of things hard set in stone just because that blueprint is still ongoing, but we're hoping to in 16.0 get some of the next steps happening. Or in a couple of releases ago, we prototyped a query interceptor, and we're hoping to get that interceptor installed in at least one of our projects. And then we'll be able to start hooking it up to the backend systems that are being designed as a part of the architectural blueprint that's been ongoing. So I don't know that we'll actually start implementing the blueprint in 16 or not, but we're hoping to make some big strides there. As it notes, we are a GitLab focused use case for now, but hopefully we're building something that maybe everyone will be able to use someday. We'll see. But mainly this is to help us do better preventing scenarios like the CPU saturation issues that we encountered earlier this year, by helping us catch some of these poorly performing queries even more aggressively than we already do through our database review process. The other thing we're hoping is that it'll actually alleviate some of the pressures on individual authors as they're writing their changes, because the database review process can be very intensive. And so instead of folks having to self-identify, we'll hopefully be able to automate away a lot of the heavy lifting there.
Yeah, and database review definitely is something that both consumes a lot of time across GitLab from database expertise people, but also individual MR authors. And so the core principle with prioritizing this work stream here is really, it's important that we review our code changes for database impacts, and we want to make these mandatory reviews as seamless and straightforward and low friction as we can. And then lastly, sorry, go ahead, Alex.
No. Sorry. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, and then lastly, we recently wrapped up a lot of work around batch background migrations, and there's just a few general themes around background processing that we want to just make sure increase system stability and predictability. Alex, do you want to just touch on a couple of these ones that you recently added?
Yeah, so we're broadening our scope just a little bit. We made a lot of advancements around background processing as a part of the batch background migration effort, and we want to be able to take some of those advancements, especially around throttling during system peaks, to some of our more general Sidekick workers. That way, those workers can take advantage of these mechanisms we've already built. And then just so there's a general we've made safe background processing a more general topic. Along with that, where we do still have some follow-ups and bugs to address with batch background migrations, but we've mainly closed out that effort, and we want to we do want to make sure background processing as a general rule is safe though. So
cool. Well, thank you so much, Alex. And thank you so
yeah.
much, everybody, for tuning in. This is the Database Group 16.0 planning. Thank you.